In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise and thanks is due to Allah, the Lord of all exists. And the peace and blessing of Allah be upon our Prophet Muhammad, his family, and all his companions. Assalamu alaikum, which means Allah peace upon all of you. We would like to talk about thinking about the creation of Allah Almighty and His kingdom. Thinking, contemplating is a great worship, which is the worship of the prophets, the path of the boys, a light for those who think, and a path that leads to the Creator, blessed and exalted. Whoever thinks deeply in it will find the bright verses, beautiful miracles, and power of all of Allah Almighty and finite accuracy. And the mind is incapable, surrenders and obeys his master. And he believes in his uniqueness and deity and deism. The worship of thinking, contemplating in the universe and the creatures of Allah Almighty mentioned in it are sources of sense and knowledge, from which the servant draws and benefits from what he knew, whether in the scientific aspect or the faith side. For there is a close connection that links man with the universe and makes him harmonize with it. So the universe is an open book in his hands that reads through it and even watch divine creativity and mastery. And the worship of thinking was the persistent practice of the Prophet, the peace and the blessing of Allah be upon him, even before his mission and prophethood, where he isolated himself in the cave of Hira, far from noise, to think about this great universe. Whoever realized the greatness of this worship and knew its secrets and thinks of every small and big thing that he sees, and see the lessons and the blessings of Allah Almighty, glory be to Him. There is nothing created in this universe in vain. Many people refrained this worship and neglected it, and many were deprived of it due to the cruelty of their hearts, their farness from their Creator, and their committing sins and disobediences. It is necessary to set right and correct the defect to end this great worship. Here are some helping reasons to achieve this great worship thinking. Firstly, revere to Allah Almighty and delegate to Him. Leave sins and disobediences. Hasten to do obedience. Struggle with self, Satan's, and desires. Reducing the pursuit of the world. Maintaining the obligations and duties. The field of thinking in Allah's creation are endless. So whoever enters in this field, so in everything of ours. The human being in himself is a wide field that does not run out to those who think about it and its details. So, the human soul is the most important field of thinking. And this small mind brain that the eyes cannot see works day and night, manages and plans, and guides a person to do good behavior and choices throughout his life. It is one of the wonders of the creation of Allah Almighty. And Allah has distinguished human beings with it from among all other creations. And it is the subject of the assignment to legal rulings, duties, as well as heavens, earth, animals, plant, mountain, seas, stones, and all other creatures. Secondly, benefits of thinking about Allah's creation. Acknowledges the oneness of Allah Almighty. It increases the servant's closeness to Allah Almighty, reveals the wonderful creation, accuracy and splendor of the great Creator. Fear al-khashya of Allah Almighty are sown in the soul. Increases one's humility to his Lord, the Most High. Increases self-accountability for its mistakes. Gives the soul serenity and purity. Revives the heart and increases its faith and confidence in Allah Almighty's ability and greatness. Inherits wisdom and good opinion, keeping oneself away from disobeying Allah Almighty and obeying His command. Fills the soul with the rest and happiness. Opens door to seek knowledge and science, so one acquires new knowledge that will benefit him in his various fields. The certainty of the day of the resurrection and the standing between the hands of the great Creator will increase, and it causes good and diligent work to be increased on the day of resurrection. Finally, I hope that now, my brother, the importance of this great worship has appeared to you, so I invite myself and you to contemplate and think deeply. Perhaps through this worship, through this worship, features that were hidden and mysteries that were unknown would become clear to us. So how beautiful it is to sit and contemplate the kingdom of the heavens and the earth and the marvelous creation of Allah Almighty. And the peace and the blessing of Allah be upon our Prophet Muhammad and his family and all his companions.